how $29.99 turned into $4,200 of debt without buying anything big. He thought the card was weightless, a thin piece of plastic, black, his name engraved on it in silver letters. It made no sound when swiped, left no mark in his hand. That's why it seemed safe. His name was Larry, a young professional with steady income, not rich, not broke. When the bank offered him a credit card with a $5,000 limit, he smiled. He didn't see it as extra money, but as flexibility. He told himself, "I'll only use it when I need to, and I'll pay it off at the end of the month." The first week, he bought headphones for $79. The second week, dinner for $42. Then a gym membership for $29.99. Small amounts. Harmless. He didn't feel a thing. The banking app smiled back at him too. Deferred payment, available credit, minimum payment, $35. Everything designed to seem convenient and harmless. 3 months later, the balance was $1,200. He wasn't worried. He said, "I'll pay it down gradually." The problem wasn't the spending, it was time. It was the interest. The APR was 19.9%, a number he didn't think much about. It seemed technical, distant, but it started working in the background, silently. Every month, interest added up. Every month, Larry only paid the minimum. $35, then $40, then $50. He felt like he was paying, but really, he was spinning his wheels. A year passed. Balance, $2,800. He couldn't remember when it doubled. He hadn't bought anything big. No phone, no laptop, just small things. Normal life. But the card was recording everything, while his memory wasn't. The pressure began. Not just financial pressure, but mental. He started thinking about the card more than his paycheck. Opening the app at night, closing it, opening it again. The number wouldn't go down. He was paying, but the debt didn't seem to notice. In the 15th month, he had to use the card again. Car repair, $600. He told himself, "This is an emergency, and the card's for emergencies." The balance jumped to $3,600. The minimum payment became $110. Interest alone was nearly $60 a month. One day, he sat down and calculated coldly. If he kept paying only the minimum, it would take over 7 years to pay off the debt, and he'd pay nearly $2,500 in interest on top of the original amount. 7 years. For things he couldn't even remember. The card hadn't forced him to buy. It hadn't deceived him openly. It just convinced him that money wasn't money. It was a deferred number. He started noticing the difference between the card and cash. When he paid cash, he hesitated. When he swiped the card, he felt nothing. The pain was absent, and that's why awareness came late. By the second year, the debt was $4,200, not because Larry was reckless, but because he was ordinary. And that's where the danger lies. Credit cards don't just destroy the reckless, they drain ordinary people. Slowly. One night, Larry closed the banking app and put the card in a drawer. He didn't cut it up, didn't declare war. He just understood something. Too late. The real danger of a credit card isn't that you buy with it. The danger is convincing yourself it's your money. It's not your money. It's money from the future, with interest and with long patience for your small mistakes. Where does the correction begin? Larry realized the first step wasn't stop buying, but restoring the feeling of financial pain. Pay more than the minimum. Stop any unnecessary purchases, and tie every card use to a clear, temporary goal. The advice that saved Larry wasn't complicated. Don't use credit cards for daily spending, only for emergencies. Always pay more than the minimum. The minimum is a trap, not a solution. Review your statement. Ask yourself one question before every swipe. Is this building an asset or funding an illusion? In the end, Larry understood that credit cards rely on a trick, making you pay without feeling it. And when the feeling is gone, the price piles up. That night, Larry realized a truth he understood too late. The credit card wasn't the only problem. It was just the beginning. He looked at his statement one more time and noticed something more dangerous than the debt itself: a series of small monthly charges. Subscriptions he couldn't remember signing up for in the first place. Same trick, but smoother. Same illusion, but without a card. He understood then that the credit card had taught him a more dangerous habit: to pay without feeling, and subscriptions were applying this habit throughout the entire month. He said to himself, "The debt didn't start when I swiped the card. It started when I got used to saying, 'It's just a small amount.'" And here the real story begins. Because the card drains you when you buy, but subscriptions drain you even when you're doing nothing. He thought the danger was in big debts. But the real trap is $9.99 subscriptions running while you've forgotten about them. In the next episode, we'll reveal how cheap subscriptions became the most dangerous financial trap of the modern era, and how people pay for things they don't use, silently, every month. Subscribe and stay tuned.